By Pedersen Toyota, everything cars made easy. And by First Bank. Visit any of our convenient locations in northern Colorado.
Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Family Sports Ice Arena here in Centennial, Colorado, as we get you set for a matchup of two of the top teams in the state this afternoon. I'm Michael Spencer. Glad to have you with us here on Stream It Sports as the number 2 Chaparral Wolverines get set to host the number 1 team in the state, the Fort Collins Lambkins. Fort Collins comes into the game with a unbeaten record of 13-0-1. Chaparral 10-1-3, their lone loss coming to last year's defending champions, the Regis Raiders. Should be a great one tonight. These two teams have designs on a Frozen Four date later next month at the Pepsi Center, but first things first, a high-powered matchup here this afternoon between number 1 and number 2. We are glad to have you with us here on Stream It Sports. We'll get you set for the opening face-off with the starting lineups here at senior night for the Chaparral Wolverines. All that and more coming up next right here on Stream It Sports.
Dear Winter, it's been fun getting to know you. Sleet, blizzards, ice. I love that you don't hold back. We didn't take it personally when you tried to bury us under 6 feet of snow. It's cool. You do your thing, and we'll do ours. Stay chill, Toyota Trucks.
Right now, lease a new 2020 Tacoma for just $239 per month, or get $1,250 cash back on a new Tacoma. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Welcome back live to Family Sports Ice Arena as we get you set for number 1 and number 2. The announcements for the home team, Chaparral Wolverines, going on over the PA. Let's join them in progress.
Starting at forward, number 15, Andrew Starting at defense, number 26, J.T. Starting at defense, number 7, Simon Starting at goalie, number 30, Joseph The Wolverines are coached by Ryan Fitterfrock and Tim Walsh. Now I ask that you all kindly please rise and remove your caps for the playing of our national anthem.
We'll go to break. When we come back, the opening face-off between Chaparral and Fort Collins right here on Stream It Sports.
Guess who got us a new checking account with no monthly service charges?
Get out.
And no minimum balance.
Get out!
That's not even the best part. Our new First Bank Anywhere account comes with real customer service from real people who actually care about us.
You amaze me.
It's not a miracle. It's banking for good.
First Bank. Banking for good.
After playing the game for many years, and I decided I could either watch from the couch or get on the field and become part of the game.
I became a judge because it was a natural transition from being a gymnast to coach, now judge.
I love the large crowds, the excitement of the game, and you know what? I got the best seat in the house.
Help these kids. Help this community. Become an official.
You're watching high school sports on Stream It Sports NoCo.
Back live at Family Sports Ice Arena. We apologize for the delay. A scheduled 5:25 face-off between Chaparral and Fort Collins pushed back nearly an hour. You can direct your complaints to Cherry Creek and Castleview. That was the game before us. Cherry Creek coming away with a 6-1 victory. It was senior night for the Bruins. The celebration, getting a little long-winded. However, we are now set to go between number 1 and number 2 in the state. You heard the opening lineups for Chaparral. Blake Johnson might have been the one guy who you missed before we cut to the PA there. So Johnson, Hers, Mundell, O'Connor, Waffle, and Joseph Holguin going to be in goal for Chaparral. On the other side for Fort Collins, number 9, Nolan Devine. Number 10, Garrett Diltz. Number 13, Merrick Thompson. 19, Tanner Marsh. 21, Nolan Williamson. And number 33, Sam Simon. Your starters for the Lambkins. Simon in goal, wearing the C on his chest of that predominantly black jersey for Fort Collins. Just underway here on Stream It Sports. Should be in for a good one as Simon makes the stop there. Johnson lost his stick for Chaparral, and we'll have a face-off in the Fort Collins zone as both teams will get a change. 16:32 to play here in the opening frame. Fort Collins coming into tonight's game with a unbeaten record of 13-0-1, 7-0-1 in the Pinnacle League. Chaparral 10-1-3 on the season, and as I mentioned in the open, their lone loss coming at the hands of last year's defending state champion Regis Raiders. Chaparral was scheduled to play Regis yesterday. If you're in Colorado, you know that snow disrupted nearly everything that was on the schedule for yesterday, including that game. So those two teams did not play. Fort Collins played on Thursday, came away with a win, and then had about a 45-minute practice yesterday in preparation for this game this afternoon. Denny White, one of the guys over there for Fort Collins, as the puck is pinned up against the far side board. Fort Collins trying to get it out of its own zone. Nice job by Chaparral to keep it in. Brady Langerman there, able to keep it in for the Wolverines, and then it went out and now back into the neutral zone. Chaparral, a team with 5 seniors that were honored before tonight's game. Not as much talent as last year's squad. Head coach Ryan Finneyfrock, though, in his 3rd season as the head man, really loves what his team has brought to the table this season. As you see the shot by Jackson Mundell, saved by Simon in net for Fort Collins. Chaparral had to tag up, so Fort Collins will take over possession, and they'll send it into the Chaparral zone. And we'll get a whistle here with 14:43 to play in the opening frame. No score between the top 2 teams in the state. And after that whistle, the face-off going to come back into the Fort Collins zone. Chaparral sending its top liners on it, and now we got a breakaway for Fort Collins. Nolan Williamson had it, now he'll take it behind net. Fort Collins able to keep it in its own zone, at least momentarily, until Chaparral comes away with it, and the Wolverines will send it the other way. Johnson trying to track it down as he was checked from behind. A shot from the slot. Landon Boyd couldn't get all of that one. Here comes Fort Collins. Devine with it on the far side. He loses control of the puck, and Chaparral will take over. Good defensive play by both teams early in this one. Andrew O'Connor content to dump it in for Chaparral. Puck will come out into the neutral zone and go all the way to the other end of the ice. Puck back into the neutral zone, pinned up against the near side boards. Fort Collins able to come out with it. Tristan Olick had it momentarily for the Lambkins. Puck still in the Fort Collins zone. Nice job by Chaparral to keep it in. Simon Hers doing a good job there at the blue line for the Wolverines. Fort Collins still trying to get the clear. Flip it out and into the neutral zone, and Lampkins will try and give chase here on the near side. His shot goes over the head of Joseph Holguin, in goal for Chaparral, and the Wolverines will have it coming the other way. Hers with it, he'll walk it in. Thought about a shot, now tried to sneak past his defender. Puck loose momentarily in front of the net. Chaparral able to keep it. Dylan Zier had it at the blue line, and now the puck will come out into the neutral zone. Both teams feeling each other out here in the opening minutes. We'll get a whistle and a stoppage in play here with 12:29 to play in the opening frame. I mentioned these are the number 1 and number 2 teams in the state. Fort Collins head coach Dylan Strom really looking forward to seeing how his team performed here against a high-powered Chaparral team. Doesn't feel like his team has faced a lot of tests, but knows that they have a bunch of tough tests coming starting today here at Family Sports Ice Arena. Here comes Chaparral. Noah Yunkin tried to get it to one of his teammates, able to track it down on the far side. Here's Jackson Mundell. Nice job by Fort Collins. As a shot off the stick of Noah Williamson will be deflected aside by Holguin, and now another shot. And Holguin lost the puck momentarily. Fort Collins unable to capitalize though. Good play by the senior goalie for Chaparral as Fort Collins had a couple shots on goal, and then Holguin will hold on to that one and then drop it off for one of his teammates. Fort Collins really putting some pressure on Joseph Holguin and Chaparral. Back come the Wolverines here on the offensive side. John Connolly trying to chase it down on the far side for Chaparral. Puck comes out into the neutral zone. Just scooped up by Simon Hers. He dumps it after taking a big check here on the near side. Puck scoots loose right in front of the Fort Collins goal. Nobody home for Chaparral though. Johnson will fire a shot that goes wide left. And Fort Collins will try and clear it out. So after they spent the first couple minutes trying to feel each other out, a couple good shots from both teams here in the last few minutes, including one right there that's knocked aside by Holguin, was loose out in front of the net. Nice job by Chaparral to scoop it up, and here comes Johnson. His shot will be deflected out front. Boy, the pace has really picked up here the last couple minutes. Both teams with offensive opportunities, and you got to credit the two stud goalies for coming up with some big stops to keep us scoreless here with 6.5 minutes gone by in the opening frame. Fort Collins on the attack. Riley Lobb unable to control it. Will be picked up by Lucas Gregg. Gregg gets it into the Chaparral zone, gets tripped up, no whistle, play will continue. Here comes Chaparral. Shot just inside the blue line, will be swatted aside by Sam Simon. Well, you can hear the reverberation off the boards after some heavy hits. You hear the oohs and ahs from the crowd here as Simon freezes the puck with 9:50 to play. And I told you from the open that we were in for a good one, and it has certainly turned out that way here in the opening minutes here at Family Sports Ice Arena. Face off on the far side here in the Fort Collins zone. Lampkins will take control of the puck. Try and clear it, and they do. Here comes Nolan Williamson, shot from the slot, and that'll be stopped by Joseph Holguin. Holguin, the senior goalie, as I mentioned, 5 seniors on this squad. He is the only one that has been with this program and head coach Ryan Finneyfrock for the past 3 seasons since its inception. He started Ryan Burke in goal at points this season, and I asked Finneyfrock why Holguin tonight. He said he deserves it. He has certainly earned it with the work that he has put in over the past 3 seasons. Chaparral trying to get the clear. Nice job by Fort Collins to dump it in. Wolverines able to control it. Landon Boyd with it. Chaparral will send it the length of the ice. Merritt Thompson scoops it up for Fort Collins, tries to send it across the far side boards and does into the neutral zone. Here comes Chaparral. John Connolly trying to get something going. Had a 3-on-3 opportunity momentarily, but then Chaparral had to get a change. Puck loose out in front of the net, swatted away by Thompson. And it'll come out to the blue line. A shot there by Waffles deflected out in front. Nice job by Thompson to secure the rebound, at least momentarily, for Fort Collins. Thompson and Conley exchanging some pushes as another shot by Waffle gets swatted aside by the left leg pad of Simon. Fort Collins will send it up. That one's actually going to hit the top of the ice here, and we'll have a stoppage in play. 8:10 to play here in our opening frame. Still no score. Glad to have you with us here on Stream It Sports. It's been a high energy type of game, at least early. Johnson with it for Chaparral. Tried to get it to the slot for Jackson Brandhorst. Brandhorst couldn't get a stick on it though. Johnson now trying to take it in between a couple defenders, and a shot by Brandhorst will be stopped by Simon. Couple good opportunities there for Chaparral. One, Brandhorst couldn't get a good play on it, and then another one, another nice stop by Simon. Johnson going to take this face-off for Chaparral. And we'll get a whistle from the far side official as Johnson gets kicked out of the circle. Andrew O'Connor going to come in for him to actually kick both guys out, including Bryce Hall for Fort Collins. Johnson fires a shot, goes wide right. Puck will stay in the Chaparral zone, and it's pinned up against the far side boards. Hall angling for something there for Fort Collins as he and Andrew O'Connor were going. Now a shot from the slot. Boy, what a save by Sam Simon. Blake Johnson all alone in the slot. And Sam Simon with a beautiful glove save as you take a look at the replay here. And that's one of the reasons why the junior goalie is going to be playing for Team Colorado and wears the C on his chest for these Fort Collins Lambkins. A beautiful glove side save there for Simon. Keeps us even at zeros on the scoreboard. Now a chance for Fort Collins. Shot, and it'll be saved by Holguin. So one beautiful save deserves another, I suppose. And after we see a nice save from Simon, another save by Holguin as you take a look at this one on the replay. Beautiful glove save by the senior goalie for Chaparral. And we'll have a face-off here with 7:22 to play in the opening frame. Chaparral has it behind their net. Wolverines trying to get set. Puck pinned up here on the near side boards. Andrew O'Connor, one of the guys who was in there for Chaparral. Here comes Johnson again. Already a couple good shots on goals. This one deflected aside by Simon. Jason Campos had it for Fort Collins. He'll dump it as the Lambkins will get a change. Hers trying to work it up ice for Chaparral. Ends up with Dylan Leonard. He'll fire a shot that goes wide left. Puck was in the neutral zone momentarily and then swatted back in to the Fort Collins zone by Landon Boyd right at mid-ice. Chaparral trying to break open a scoreless game here. Nice job by the Fort Collins defense. Boy, he paid the price. Trying to get a number for you there as one of the Fort Collins defenders made a beautiful move to save his goalie, but then paid the price as he took a big hit. He's now gotten a change, and the puck back in the Chaparral end. Good opportunity for Fort Collins there, but nothing doing. Lampkins keep the puck in, but then turn it over, and now back comes Chaparral. Leonard with it. He'll dump it in as the Wolverines will get a change. Puck rolling along the far side boards. It'll be scooped up by Nolan Devine. Devine drops it off as Fort Collins trying to clear it out of its own zone. Tristan Oleg had it momentarily, a turnover, and we'll see if Chaparral can capitalize. They cannot, as another nice defensive play by Fort Collins. That was Oleg again making a nice play, and now a shot goes wide left of the Chaparral net. Fort Collins at it again. Williamson trying to get something going. Didn't get a good swat at it. Puck comes out on the blue line, and now Chaparral gonna have a 2-on-2 situation. That shot deflected aside by Simon. That was Jackson Mundell hoping to break open a scoreless game for Chaparral. Nice job by Simon to swat his shot attempt away. As we remain scoreless here with 4.5 to play in the first period. Here comes Chaparral. I beg your pardon, that was Fort Collins. Tanner Marsh there for the Lampkins, and another nice stop by Joseph Holguin. Take a look at the replay here, and the Simon deflection, as both of these goalies have had some early work, but still keeping it clean on the scoreboard. Chaparral on the attack again as a group of guys get pinned up over on the far side. Nice job by Johnson to keep it in the zone. Puck will be sent high into the sky and into the neutral zone. Chaparral offside, so they got to tag up, and Fort Collins will take advantage as they try and slow things down, at least momentarily. Boy, a really nice job by Jackson Brandhorst. He sent a puck to the slot. Nobody was there, though. Brandhorst doing a nice job keeping the pressure on for the Wolverines. Now a shot from Hers will be stopped by Simon. Well, you got to think, for as many decent shot attempts as both sides have had, Hers looked almost a little slightly deflated there after another great stop by Simon. You got to be thinking to yourself, man, what is it going to take in order to beat these guys, as Simon makes another great stop for Fort Collins. 3.5 to play here in the opening frame. Puck still in the Fort Collins zone. Now it'll come out into the neutral zone. Johnson gets tangled up with a Fort Collins defender. And we'll get a whistle here with 3:13 to play. We're going to get a penalty on Lucas Gregg, so we'll get our first penalty of the game as they send Lucas Gregg to the box. And Chaparral will go on the power play here for 2 minutes. So Sam Simon has done a good job keeping it clean for Fort Collins, but he's going to get his first real test of the day as Chaparral goes on the power play, and that shot off the stick of Landon Boyd hit, I believe, one of his teammates out in front. Puck cascaded back into the neutral zone, kept back inside. Another shot by Boyd will go over the head of Simon in net. Boyd able to keep it in right at the blue line. Johnson to Boyd, another shot. This one off a defender. That was Nolan Williamson taking it off the leg. Opportunity in the slot, but nothing doing there for Chaparral. Puck comes out of the zone, and Fort Collins will get a change with 1 minute to go in the power play, 2:12 remaining in the opening frame. Johnson trying to control it in the slot. He could not. And it'll go all the way back into the Chaparral zone, and the Wolverines will try and set something up here with 35 seconds remaining on the power play for Chaparral. Puck stopped right in front of the blue line. That's Dylan Leonard. Nothing doing for Chaparral. Trying to make sure they get a good shot attempt here with 10 seconds to play, or 10 seconds to go on the power play, I should say. A Youngkin shot deflected aside, and that will do it for the penalty kill for Fort Collins. So they kill off that one, and we remain scoreless here with 1:10 to play in the opening frame. A nice job by Fort Collins to kill off that penalty. You hear the call, 1 minute remaining in the period. We'll see if Fort Collins can break open a scoreless game. Eric Thompson had it deflected, and now here comes Johnson the other way for Chaparral. His shot wide right, and another shot, and that'll be stopped by Simon. And Fort Collins will maintain possession. Thompson sends it along the near side boards. .23 seconds remaining here in the opening frame. I would have to imagine both teams feel pretty good about the way they played in many aspects. Good shots, just better goaltending so far on both sides. Dylan Zier will chase it down for Chaparral, and that will bring us to the end of the first period here at Family Sports Ice Arena. No score between the top two teams in the state. The goalies on display, Sam Simon for Fort Collins, Joseph Holguin for Chaparral, both keeping a clean sheet here after 17 minutes of play. We've got our first intermission. We're back after this on Stream It Sports.
Dear Winter, it's been fun getting to know you. Sleet, blizzards, ice. I love that you don't hold back. We didn't take it personally when you tried to bury us under 6 feet of snow. It's cool. You do your thing, and we'll do ours. Stay chill, Toyota trucks.
Right now, lease a new 2020 Tacoma for just $239 per month, or get $1,250 cash back on a new Tacoma. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Check it out! I've been chosen!
Oh, you're busy.
I just had this cool thing happen earlier when I opened an Anywhere account at First Bank.
Wait, what?
I got a great app, and I also get real customer service whenever I want.
You mean like real people? Wait, put me down.
Yeah,
wait.
24/7. Just hit 0, and boom, human.
Boom, human. Whoa!
Boom, human.
Customer service too good to believe.
First Bank. Banking for good.
Time in every athlete's life when their participation in sports is coming to an end, and so officiating is a way to stay involved.
The day I started officiating is just as fun as now.
When I'm officiating, making decisions, a decision that's instantaneous, for me there's no greater feeling.
I became an official because I wanted to give back.
Get off the couch and get into the game.
Become an official.
Guess who got us a new checking account with no monthly service charges?
Get out.
And no minimum balance.
Get out!
That's not even the best part. Our new First Bank Anywhere account comes with real customer service from real people who actually care about us.
You amaze me.
It's not a miracle. It's banking for good.
First Bank. Banking for good.
Dear Winter, it's been fun getting to know you. Sleet, blizzards, ice. I love that you don't hold back. We didn't take it personally when you tried to bury us under 6 feet of snow. It's cool. You do your thing, and we'll do ours. Stay chill, Toyota trucks.
Right now, lease a new 2020 Tacoma for just $239 per month, or get $1,250 cash back on a new Tacoma. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
We are underway here with our second period of play between Fort Collins and Chaparral. Glad to have you back with us here at the Family Sports Ice Arena on Stream It Sports. No score after 17 minutes between the number 1 and number 2 teams in the state. Fort Collins took a late penalty in the first period, but Chaparral unable to capitalize. We've seen really good goaltending on both ends. Sam Simon in net for Fort Collins and Joseph Holguin in net for Chaparral. Wolverines with it in their zone. Blake Johnson, who was handling it momentarily for Chaparral. Simon able to swipe at it. And the pass to Hers goes wide and out of the zone, and Chaparral will have to trek down to the other end of the ice. Wolverines able to get back possession. O'Connor can't get it into the zone. Puck rolls back to the blue line. Will be swatted by Hers and remain in the neutral zone. Jackson Mundell with it, and a shot from Johnson will deflect off the chest of Sam Simon, and then he'll scoop it up to freeze the puck here with 15:54 to play in the second period. Now, I mentioned these are the number 1 and number 2 teams in the state. Fort Collins number 1 in the Chasanow rankings. Chaparral number 2. In the RPI, it's a little bit different. Fort Collins at number 1, Chaparral at number 5. Those rankings adjusted early this morning. They were posted online at about 4 a.m. I was wide awake and hitting the refresh button, anxiously anticipating the latest edition of the RPI. That, of course, important for playoff standings, and both of these teams certainly have their eye on a long playoff run that they hope will culminate March 10th at the Pepsi Center in the state championship game. Dylan Zier with it for Chaparral. He'll send it to the other side of the ice for Leonard. Nearly in a couple opportunities for Chaparral. Nothing doing as the pass to the slot was no good, and then a shot goes wide right of the net. Chaparral, it seems like, has played the majority of this game inside of Fort Collins' zone, but still nothing doing on the scoreboard. As the shot there gets deflected out in front. Will be pinned up on the far side boards. Sent along here to the near side, but stays in the zone, and that shot deflected. Oh, a beautiful job by number 25, Tristan Olick, for Fort Collins as he takes it the other way, and Joseph Holdwin will make the stop and freeze the puck momentarily for Chaparral. Our producer extraordinaire, Phil Mildren, was looking at me awkwardly when I was saying that I was up until 4 a.m. hitting the refresh button. I tried to get you guys to have a party, tried to get you over at the house. You know, you weren't down for it. Had to be here today at an early time, and so I get it. I get it. I don't know why you'd want to spend your Friday nights doing anything else, but to each their own. A little less than 3 minutes gone by here in the second period. Puck bouncing high on the far side boards inside the Chaparral zone. Wolverines will get it out of their zone and now try and get something going offensively on the other side. John Connolly with it. Nothing doing. There's a shot from Hers is deflected out in front. Puck loose back behind the net. Goes into the sky, and then Fort Collins will come away with it. Nearly a turnover in the neutral zone. Instead, it goes all the way back down to the Chaparral end, and we're going to get an icing call here with 13:32 to play in the second period, and we will have a face-off back in the Fort Collins end. If you're a Fort Collins fan, you might notice number 24, Trey Campbell, JV player playing up today. He was involved in some action in the first period. A good chance for him to get a really good varsity run as Simon makes another stop off the shot of Waffle. (13:18 to play here in the second period. Glad to have you with us on Stream It Sports. We got a face-off here on the near side in the Fort Collins zone. Johnson in there for Chaparral. Puck comes into the neutral zone. This is Williamson with it, trying to make something happen for Fort Collins. Nothing doing. Williamson will lay a big hit behind the goal. Now the puck's loose. Williamson trying to get it. He shoots and scores! What a job by Nolan Williamson, the junior forward, third on the Fort Collins team in points this season. Gives his Lambkins a 1-0 lead here with 13:01 to play in the second period. Take a look at the replay here. Puck was loose out in front of the net. Nobody could control it, and then Williamson able to get a good whack at it, and he puts it in for the first goal of the game. Garrett Diltz with the assist as you hear the announcement over the PA, and the Lambkins, the #1 team in the state, flexing their muscle here a little bit. And the way this one is gone, you would think that there will be some goals. However, the goaltenders have played extremely well, and I don't know that I would be too terribly surprised if 1-0 ended up being our final score, given the way our goalies have played here in the early part of this one. Big goal for Fort Collins as they clear the zone, and Simon Hers takes control of it and gets it back to Chaparral. Brady Langerman had an opportunity. Puck comes up and out of the zone. Here comes Nolan Devine. Drops it off and a shot and another goal! Fort Collins pouring it on as Tanner Marsh adds a second goal for the Lambkins. Beautiful play by Fort Collins. Nice job by Nolan Devine. And then Marsh capitalizes less than 2 minutes after Fort Collins opened this game up. Marsh adds a second one, and all of a sudden Fort Collins, in the blink of an eye, has now taken a 2-0 lead. We'll listen into the PA. Well, the PA had it as Jesse Courser James. My eyes caught it as 19 Tanner Marsh. Courser James wears 18 for Fort Collins. And now we've got a whistle, and we're going to get a penalty on Fort Collins as they send Devine into the box. So Fort Collins going to go actually will remain at even strength as they send a Chaparral player into the box as well. So offsetting penalties, if you will, with 11:15 to play here in the second period, and will remain at even strength for both sides. Fort Collins with a 2-0 lead. Here comes Chaparral. Shot out in front by Parker Purcell, goes wide right. Fort Collins getting physical with Chaparral. You hear some of the home fans wanting a penalty there. Nothing doing as we'll get a stoppage in play here with 10:39 to go in the second period. Both teams going to get a change and send fresh skaters onto the ice as they drop the puck here in the Fort Collins zone. Lampkins will get the clear. Simon Hurd is going to chase it down. Riley Lobb gets there first for Fort Collins. Nice check here on the near side as Johnson got a big hit on Olick. Fort Collins scoops it up in the neutral zone. Oh, a shot opportunity for number 15, Campos. Didn't quite get the stick on it that he would have liked. Fort Collins able to keep it in momentarily, but now Landon Boyd comes away with it for Chaparral, and Sam Simon will scoop it up. That'll freeze the puck here with 9:57 to play. So what had been a scoreless game through one period and change gets broken open when Williamson tacks on one for Fort Collins. Able to find the puck loose in front of the net, and that gave the Lampkins a 1-0 lead. Then less than a minute and a half later, Fort Collins made it 2-0 as you see Simon come up with another big save. He's a big reason why Fort Collins has a 2-0 lead here in the second period. Able to keep Chaparral off the board despite numerous opportunities. Shot on the near side will be gloved by Simon. Brady Langerman trying to get something going for Chaparral. So take a look here on the replay. Langerman's shot probably would have gone wide. Simon making sure to grab it just in case anything were to happen on the rebound. We've got a delayed penalty coming, and it'll go against Fort Collins. We're going to get a trip, and that'll send Merrick Thompson to the box. So golden opportunity here for Chaparral on the power play. See the official there at the top of your screen. Listen in on the PA.
2 minutes for tripping. Thompson for tripping at 9:32. It's a Wolverines penalty.
So we'll see if the home team can cash in on a 5-on-4 opportunity. Fort Collins able to clear the zone quickly here at the start of the power play for Chaparral. In talking to Fort Collins head coach Dylan Strom, he said one of the keys for his team would be defense, and I think he'd have to love what he has seen so far today. He threw out a stat that when Chaparral scores 3 goals or less, they tie or lose, don't come away with a victory. And he said that's going to be key, and so far, his team up 2-0, so you know he likes that. Chaparral trying to get something going here on the power play, and it'll be sent out above the blue line as nobody was home for Chaparral. Johnson able to scoop it up. He'll take it into the zone for the Wolverines. Johnson loses his stick. Hers playing a little back and forth with Andrew O'Connor, and a shot wide. Now Fort Collins will have a shorthanded opportunity. Shot by Marsh goes wide right. Fort Collins maintaining possession here with 35 seconds to play in the power play for Chaparral. Diltz takes a swat at it, and now here comes Denny White on the far side. White lost control of the puck. Chaparral able to take advantage. Hers across mid-ice and now into the zone. Hers taking it behind the net, nothing doing there. Shot from the slot, and that'll be stopped, and another nice save by Sam Simon as Landon Boyd got a good look at one from the slot. 4 seconds remaining on the power play. Fort Collins looking to get Thompson out of the box. Here with 3 seconds to go on the power play. 7:35 to play in the second period. Face off here on the near side, won by Chaparral. Now back to even strength. Puck was loose in the neutral zone, and then another shot opportunity for Chaparral will be denied by Sam Simon in goal for Fort Collins. Collins over there, it appears having a good chuckle with the officials. Looked like maybe that one stung him a little bit. Officials doing their best to give him a little time to get his composure. 7:21 to go here in the second as we try to keep our composure. Face off here on the near side will be won by Fort Collins. Here come the Lampkins. Trying to dump and chases number 15, Jason Campos. Puck sent down the length of the ice. Merrick Thompson will take it behind his own net, and now try and set something up. Cross ice pass for Thompson. He takes it into the zone. 3-on-2 opportunity for Fort Collins if they want it. Nice job by the Chaparral defense to deny Fort Collins an opportunity to go up 3-0 in this contest. Puck on the far side. Campos takes a swat at it. Ends up back with Campos, and now he'll send it high and out of the zone. Puck gonna roll the length of the ice, and we'll get a whistle for icing here with 6:30 to play in the second period. Fort Collins gonna get a couple fresh skaters out there, including number 3, Andrew Campbell. Hard to miss Campbell. I can't tell if he has a name on the back of his jersey because of his hair. I'm sure that he has one, but you can't see it because his flow is so fantastic as it comes out the back of his helmet. So good on you, Andrew Campbell. I'm jealous. Follically challenged as well. Chaparral with a shot that goes wide. Nice save by Simon there. Now Fort Collins will get it out of the zone. Hers gets a stick on it. They'll send it back in the zone for Chaparral. Big hit along the far side boards. Chaparral able to keep it in. That shot will go wide left. Puck pinned along the boards. There's a couple skaters from each team in there. Now Chaparral comes out with it. That shot goes in. Noah Youngkin with the goal for Chaparral. And that'll cut the lead in half here with 5:32 to play. So after no goals in the first period, we've now got 3 goals with 5.5 to play as you listen in on the PA. So you hear the PA announcement, and after 2 unanswered goals by Fort Collins, Chaparral gets on the board. Here with just over 5 minutes to play in the second period, the junior Youngkin with the goal for the Wolverines. Puck in the neutral zone. It'll be picked up by Jackson Brandhorst. Five minutes to play here in an action-packed second period. Puck comes out of the zone. Fort Collins maintaining possession. Tried to get something going with Marsh there. Couldn't control the puck. And Chaparral able to keep it in the neutral zone. Now it goes into the Fort Collins zone. Home crowd getting on the officials a little bit. Wanting a whistle, but one never came. Marsh with it out front. Puck goes wide right of the net. Now a shot deflected out in front. And here comes an opportunity for Jackson Brandhorst. No whistle. Oh no, we do have one on the far side. Boy, I was gonna say, they were gonna explode if they let play continue. The far side official was the one who blew his whistle and stopped play. And now he has a discussion with the scorekeeper. As Chaparral set to go on the power play. They get number 12, Riley Lobb, for hooking. And now Chaparral will have 2 minutes of a 5-on-4 opportunity to try and tie this thing at 2 apiece. Puck rolls behind the Fort Collins net and will be cleared up and out of the zone. Well, even though there were no goals in the first period, there was still intense action, and now the fact that we've cracked the scoreboard, it gets it even a little bit more intense as Dylan Leonard's shot is deflected aside. Leonard takes it out to the blue line. He drops it off for Waffle, and Waffle will send it down low. Fort Collins able to clear it up and out of the zone, though. 80 seconds remaining on the power play for Chaparral. Number 2 team in the state, down 2-1. Riley Lobb called for hooking, and we'll see if the Wolverines can take advantage here with 1 minute to go on the power play. Puck on the far side, sent out to the blue line. Waffle able to keep it in, and now it'll be deflected out into the neutral zone. Jackson Brandhorst couldn't control it. Fort Collins now has it deep in the Chaparral zone. Denny White getting a hand from the visiting crowd as he was doing some nice work there, and a save by Sam Simon will freeze the clock here with 2:40 to play in the second. 26 seconds remaining on the power play for Chaparral. Get a face-off on the far side. Chaparral wins it. Trying to get something going. Hers with a shot in the slot. No good. Puck still loose. They finally blow it dead. A good whack from Hers, and Simon able to save it, but it was loose, and Chaparral thought it might have an opportunity with Jackson Mundell down there to even this thing, but a nice job by Simon to cover up the puck, and now there will be 16 seconds remaining on the power play for Chaparral. Five seconds remaining on the power play as you hear the goalie start to tap his stick on the other end to let his guys know it's about to be back to even strength. And now it is another penalty kill for Fort Collins, as this one remains at 2-1. Shot saved by Simon. Puck loose out in front of the net. And a nice job by Fort Collins to send it to the other end. Joseph Holdman comes out of net to keep it in play for Chaparral. Puck still loose in the Chaparral zone. Johnson able to control it. He'll send it to the far side for O'Connor. O'Connor takes it into the zone. His shot will go wide left. 90 seconds to play here in the second period of what has been an entertaining game between the top two teams in the state. Johnson's shot goes wide left, and the puck will come out of the zone. We'll get a whistle as there was some contact here on the near side. They're going to send off Noah Williamson. Nolan Williamson going to go to the box. We take a replay of a Chaparral opportunity as they get this thing sorted out. Oh, that one goes off the post. We were that close to having a tie game here at Family Sports Ice Arena. So the officials in both teams trying to sort this out as you listen into the PA.
Wolverines penalty on number 2, Mike Johnson, 2 minutes, 4
So Williams and Johnson both going to spend some time and time out as another shot goes off the post for Chaparral. Even strength for both teams as Williams and Johnson spent some time in the sin bin. 1 minute remaining as you hear the announcement over the PA here in the second period as that puck goes into the penalty box and out of play. So we'll get a face-off in the neutral zone here with 48 seconds remaining. 48.8 to play here in the second period. Face-off won by Chaparral. Here come the Wolverines on the attack. Leonard shot saved momentarily by Simon, and then he gets his own rebound and puts it in. What a play by Dylan Leonard. His first shot was saved by Simon. He's able to get his own rebound, and all of a sudden we have a whole new ball game here with 38 seconds to play in the second period as you take a look at the replay. And the junior for Chaparral ties things at 2. So they give Waffle the assist as Marsh sends a shot wide right. And after 2 unanswered goals by Fort Collins to start the second period, Chaparral answers back with 2 straight. And now we are tied at 2. Luke McCall content to just dump it in for Chaparral as the Wolverines get a change. Under 10 seconds to play here in the second period. A shot that could have been off the stick of Andrew O'Connor. Nothing doing there. And we have reached our second intermission. What a game we have. Tied at 2 after 2. As you take a look at the first goal of the afternoon for Chaparral, that was the one that made it a 2-1 Fort Collins lead. And then Dylan Leonard adds the equalizer, gets his own rebound, and that is how we are tied at 2 after 2 periods of play here on Stream It Sports. Time for an intermission. We'll be back. You're going to want to join us. 17 minutes to play in regulation of this one. The number 1 and number 2 teams in the state living up to the billing. We'll be back with the third period of play after this here on Stream It Sports.
Dear Winter, it's been fun getting to know you. Sleet, blizzards, ice. I love that you don't hold back. We didn't take it personally when you tried to bury us under 6 feet of snow. It's cool. You do your thing, and we'll do ours. Stay chill, Toyota trucks.
Right now, lease a new 2020 Tacoma for just $239 per month, or get $1,250 cash back on a new Tacoma. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Check it out! I've been chosen! Oh, you're busy. I just had this cool thing happen earlier when I opened an Anywhere account at First Bank.
Wait, what?
I got a great app, and I also get real customer service whenever I want.
You mean like real people? Wait, put me down.
Yeah,
Wait.
24/7. Just hit 0, and boom, human.
Boom, human. Whoa!
Boom, human.
Customer service too good to believe.
First Bank. Banking for good.
There comes a time in every athlete's life when their participation in sports is coming to an end, and so officiating is a way to stay involved.
The day I started officiating is just as fun as now.
When I'm officiating, making decisions, a decision that's instantaneous, for me, there's no greater feeling.
I became an official because I wanted to give back.
Get off the couch and get into the game.
Become an official.
Guess who got us a new checking account with no monthly service charges?
Get out.
And no minimum balance.
Get out!
It's not a miracle. It's banking for good.
Take that good news and get out of here.
First Bank. Banking for good.
Dear Winter, it's been fun getting to know you. Sleet, blizzards, ice. I love that you don't hold back. We didn't take it personally when you tried to bury us under 6 feet of snow. It's cool. You do your thing, and we'll do ours. Stay chill, Toyota Trucks.
Right now, lease a new 2020 Tacoma for just $239 per month, or get $1,250 cash back on a new Tacoma. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Back at Family Sports Ice Arena for the third period of play as we get set to drop the puck. Tied at 2. Fort Collins scored 2 goals to take a 2-0 lead in the second period, only to watch Chaparral come back thanks to a Noah Yunkin and Dylan Leonard goal. And now all of a sudden, we've got a brand new ball game between the number 1 and number 2 teams in the state. Scoreless after 1 period of play, and now tied at 2 after 2 periods of play. Officials conferring with the scores, and now we are ready to get things going. Corser James with it on the far side for Fort Collins. Tries to get it into the zone, and Fort Collins fans are wanting a tripping, nothing doing, and we will continue at even strength. Puck stays in the zone. Marsh thought about touching it for Fort Collins, decided against it, and now the Lambkins will pull it back into their own zone before sending it up ice. Pass into the slot, intercepted by Simon Hers, and he'll lead the charge for Chaparral. He dumps it in, hoping that his teammates can get a beat on it. Nice job by Fort Collins. They send it around, unable to clear the zone, though, as Hers was right at the blue line. Kept in, and a shot from the slot will go wide left. Shot again, and a nice save by Sam Simon, the captain of this Fort Collins team, answering back after giving up 2 unanswered goals. 1 minute gone by here in the third period, and we'll get a face-off here on the near side in the Fort Collins zone. Chaparral able to control the face-off. Fort Collins able to clear the zone, though, before Chaparral takes it advantage in the neutral zone, and that shot will go wide right of Simon. Puck stays in the zone for Chaparral. Well, we've got a whistle coming, and they're going to get a penalty for a high stick. We'll go to the replay monitor while they get the penalty sorted out. Nice save by Simon to keep this at a 2-2 game. But now Chaparral will have a 5-on-4 advantage here with 15:32 to play. They'll go up a man for 2 minutes. So you hear the announcement over the PA as Fort Collins is able to clear the zone, and Chaparral will have to reset. 2 minutes for high sticking. And we'll see if the home team can take advantage. Nice job defensively there by Nolan Devine for Chaparral. Puck now loose out in front of the net. Couple guys swatting at it, and Fort Collins unable to clear the zone. Nice job keeping it in there by Landon Boyd for Chaparral. Puck goes over to the far side, and what a job by Marsh as he lays out, gets his stick on it, and now he'll get it out of the zone, but just as soon as he does that, back comes Chaparral. Johnson with it, kept in by Boyd. Now pinned along the near side boards. Puck loose, here comes Johnson. And the goal will come off the Torrings, and we'll get a whistle here with 49 seconds remaining in the power play. 14-21, I beg your pardon, to play here in the third period. Officials having a discussion with Sam Simon. Johnson was trying to walk it into the crease. Couldn't beat Simon though, and now we'll have a face-off outside of the zone. Face-off will be won by Fort Collins. No tripping. Well, there was tripping, I beg your pardon, and now we'll go to some 4-on-4 hockey as they send Noah Youngkin to the box. So Youngkin will get 2 minutes for tripping.
2 minutes for tripping. Youngkin for tripping at 14-17.
We'll have 45 seconds of 4-on-4 hockey as you take a look at the replay there. No question about that one. So 4-on-4 hockey here for 45 seconds before Fort Collins goes on a power play. Chaparral wins the faceoff and now speeding into the zone. A shot deflected away by Simon. Back comes Fort Collins. 3-on-2 opportunity for the Lampkins. That shot deflected out in front. Williamson scoops it up. Can't get a shot off. Tries a backhanded shot. Deflected out in front. And then his shot goes wide right. Shot in the slot. Too high. And it'll bounce and land on the top of the net. And we'll get a whistle here with 4 seconds remaining in the 4-on-4. And then Fort Collins will go on the power play for 1 minute and 16 seconds. Face off going to be moved out of the zone here on the near side. Face off won by Chaparral. Hers has it. Nice little spin move. Hers trying to walk it in. Will he take it 1-on-3? Fires a shot that's deflected aside by Simon. Fort Collins now on the power play, and they'll settle things down behind their own net. 1 minute to go on the power play for the Lampkins. Johnson able to deflect the puck out of midair. Gets it into the zone, but can't keep his skates. Able to regain possession. Sends it to O'Connor, and O'Connor's shot will be deflected. Nice job by Corser James with the deflection there for Fort Collins. Lampkins get it into the zone, but then it'll be cleared out by Chaparral. 30 seconds remaining on the power play opportunity for Fort Collins. Devine with it. He tries to send it to Williamson. Pass intercepted in the neutral zone by O'Connor, and he'll send it down into the Fort Collins zone. And Chaparral going to get some changes, as will Fort Collins. 15 seconds remaining on the power play opportunity for the #1 team in the state. Trying to enter the zone on the near side, and they do, but then just as soon as they do that, the puck goes out to the far side, and we're back to even strength as Youngkin comes out of the penalty box. Hall with it behind the Chaparral net, trying to get something going for Fort Collins. Nothing doing, and back comes Chaparral. On his horse is Leonard as that puck gets deflected high and into the netting behind the Fort Collins goal. I tell you what, Leonard showing off his speed. Already on the board here for Chaparral, and had his eyes on another one before it was deflected high and out of play. Face off on the far side. Leonard staring down Hall. Fort Collins will get the win. Puck into the neutral zone here along the near side. And it'll bounce back into the Fort Collins zone where the Lampkins will try and chase it down. Just off the bench is Denny White. He flips it into the neutral zone. Chaparral offside, so nothing doing there as they have to tag up. Puck all alone here on the near side. Jaden Aguilera able to track it down before he gets tripped up. A golden opportunity for Fort Collins, but fate not on their side on that one, and the puck comes out into the neutral zone, and Fort Collins going to dump it as they get it clear. Boy, Chaparral probably lucky that that one bounced the right way for them and the wrong way for Fort Collins, and we remain tied at 2. 11 minutes to play here in regulation. Greg with it here on the near side for Fort Collins. Centering pass, the lob broken up. Now back comes Chaparral. Shot and a score! And Chaparral has come all the way back from down 2-0 and has now taken a 3-2 lead thanks to Jackson Mundell. Mundell, one of the leading scorers on this Chaparral team, able to capitalize off a beautiful pass from JT Waffle, and now we are tied. I beg your pardon, Chaparral now with a 3-2 lead. You take another look at the Obi's replay there, and that is how Chaparral has now taken a 3-2 lead here at Family Sports Ice Arena. And I told you earlier, Dylan Strom, 3 goals. That was the magic number for his team in terms of trying to keep Chaparral under that 3-goal number. And now the Wolverines have reached that after trailing by 2. We get a whistle, and we'll have a face-off here with 10:16 to play in the third. So Youngkin, Leonard, and Mundell, the 3 goal scorers for Chaparral, after Williamson and Corser James gave Fort Collins a 2-0 lead. The Wolverines here on home ice and on senior night have come roaring back and are giving the #1 team in the state all they can handle. Puck sent up and out of the zone, and here comes Chaparral again. O'Connor with it. He fires a shot, and Sam Simon will save that one and freeze the puck momentarily here with 9:53 to play in the third. I'll tell you what, credit both goalies. They did a heck of a job in the first period, and really they have made some fantastic saves, as you see Simon playing with it a little bit there after making that one. Not deterred after giving up 3 goals and his team facing a 3-2 deficit. Still able to have some fun out there on the ice as he makes another wonderful save. Shot opportunity from Chaparral, denied. That was Leonard trying to get his second of the day. Puck's in high and out of the zone. Aguilera trying to give a chase for Fort Collins. Nothing doing though. Puck back up into the neutral zone. It rolls into the Chaparral zone, and we'll get a whistle here with 9:27 to play. We'll bring the face-off out of the zone. As you take a look at the call there, and offsides on Fort Collins. Greer in the face-off circle for the Lampkins. Facing off against number 27, John Connolly for Chaparral. Lampkins pick up possession. Corser James gets it into the zone here along the near side. Centering pass and a shot deflected for Fort Collins, and now Chaparral will pick it up. Jackson Mundell's shot swiped aside by Sam Simon. Puck will remain in the Fort Collins zone. And Fort Collins will send it up and out, only to have Chaparral swat it back down. Puck here on the near side, continuing to go in and out of the Chaparral zone. Fort Collins going to get possession as Tristan Olick goes over and grabs it. Now a turnover. Can Chaparral answer? Puck was loose in front of the net, a couple shots at it. Nothing doing for Chaparral. And now the puck will bounce and was behind the net momentarily. Fort Collins able to scoop it up, but still can't clear the zone, and Chaparral keeps it in, and we've got a penalty coming. Devine and Johnson getting tangled up. And they're going to send Marsh into the box for Fort Collins. So 8:09 to play. Marsh and Devine both go into the box. Devine slams the boards, and now he's going to get a talking to from the officials, as it's going to be a 5-on-3 opportunity here for Chaparral. Two very important skaters into the box for Fort Collins. So Marsh gets a misconduct, and then you had the holding penalty on Devine, so that's why we'll have a 5-on-3 for 2 minutes here for Chaparral. And the number 2 team in the state already up 3-2, an opportunity to tack on, and then Fort Collins says, hold up, wait a minute, we're not giving this one away, and now we've got a whistle as there was some good contact here on the near side. And so we're going to get a penalty on Fort Collins, as I beg your pardon, on Chaparral, as Simon Hers goes into the box. 2 minutes for high sticking, and now we'll have a 4-on-4 opportunity here. And we'll see if either team can take advantage being down a skater. Chaparral wanted another whistle. The officials did not oblige. And so we'll remain at 4-on-4 here with 7.5 minutes to play, and we'll get a whistle. As we'll get icing, and we'll come down to the Chaparral end. Boy, a very active third period for the officials and our official scorekeepers as well. 7:33 to play. Chaparral up 3-2 in a 4-on-4 situation here for the next minute and change. Here comes Chaparral. O'Connor's shot deflected out in front by Lucas Gregg. Puck was pinned up against the boards. White able to get it out of there. Here comes Courser James, unable to get it into the zone, and then Noah Youngkin content to just flip it in as Chaparral will make a couple changes. Under 7 minutes to play. O'Connor will flip it in. And here comes Fort Collins. Courser James with a nice move and a shot. Unable to get anything going there, and we'll have a stoppage in play here with 6:40 to play. 32 seconds remaining in the 4-on-4 opportunity. Face off in the Chaparral end, far side, won by the Wolverines. John Connolly unable to control it as the puck comes out of the zone, and Fort Collins will try and get something going. Merrick Thompson with it on the far side. Thompson blowing by everybody. Unable to get a good look at it as the puck will be sent down to the other side and deflected aside by Simon. 3 seconds remaining in the 4-on-4, and Chaparral will have a very brief power play. I beg your pardon, Fort Collins will have a very brief power play as Nolan Devine comes out of the box, and it's a 5-on-4 for the Lambkins, and now we are back to even strength, 5-on-5 hockey. As you can mark down another save for Joseph Holguin. Just under 6 minutes to play here at Family Sports Ice Arena. Glad to have you with us on Stream That Sports for what has been an eagerly anticipated and much hyped game that has lived up to its billing here between number 1 Fort Collins and number 2 Chaparral. The Wolverines with a 3-2 lead, trying to hold on here on senior night. Puck will be sent along to the near side, and Corser James will give chase for Fort Collins. Simon able to scoop it up. He leaves it for Corser James, and now here comes Corser James. On his horse as he takes it into the zone. Trying to work it behind the net. Lost control momentarily. It'll be scooped up by Merrick Thompson. Puck comes out of the zone, and Fort Collins will have to regroup. We'll get a whistle for icing. Yeah, a little interaction there between one of the players and the officials. No harm, no foul. Just over 5 minutes to play. Face off in the Chaparral end. Going to go all the way up and out of the zone along the near side boards, or far side boards, I should say. Puck's in over here to the near side. Chaparral will get it into the zone. Thompson had it momentarily, and we're going to get a whistle as they're going to rule offsides. And I believe that's Nolan Devine on the far side trying to plead his case to the official. But it will not matter as we'll get a face-off out of the zone. Devine takes the face-off. Fort Collins will win it. Puck comes out of the zone, and we're going to get another whistle, and now a penalty. And they're going to send Devine off once more, and he is hot. And Nolan Devine is going to be sent to the dressing room. So with 4 minutes and 39 seconds to play, Nolan Devine, who is second on this Fort Collins team in terms of points this season, has been sent to the dressing room. As you see the officials talking with Nolan Williamson. And now they'll go over and give word to the official scorer, and he'll make the announcement over the PA. But that's a huge development here for Fort Collins. And Devine was hot. It's not like this hadn't been brewing. But for them to send him off, he must have said the magic word maybe once or twice. So you heard it over the PA, a game misconduct here with 4:39 to play in the third. And now Fort Collins going to be without one of its top skaters for the rest of this one. Officials Now giving the explanation to the Fort Collins bench. Although I'm sure that they will not be happy about that one. And Andrew Campbell going to come off the bench for Fort Collins and will sit in the box alongside one of his teammates who's already in there for a 10-game misconduct, or a 10-minute misconduct, I should say. So the officials didn't have a lot to say about this one for the first several minutes of this contest, but they've certainly had a lot to say as of late, and the PA has been busy announcing all these penalties, and so now Chaparral going to go on the power play for 2 minutes here with just over 4.5 minutes to play. Johnson able to keep it in for the Wolverines. Now he has it, walks it into the slot. His shot will be deflected. Chaparral able to keep it in. Boy, this would be huge if the Wolverines can capitalize on the man-up advantage, and there's a shot swiped aside. Andrew O'Connor thought he had something going there. Now here comes Fort Collins on the backside. Williamson with it. He walks it into the slot. Can't get a good look at it. We're going to get a whistle, though. And this is going to be a penalty on Chaparral, so we'll go back to 4-on-4 hockey for the second time this period. Andrew O'Connor called for hooking at the 4:01 mark, so we'll get a minute 22 of 4-on-4 hockey, followed by a power play opportunity for Fort Collins, albeit a brief one. And that could be a huge swing here. I mean, you were looking at Chaparral up 3-2 with 4.5 minutes to play on the power play, and then we go 4-on-4 because of the penalty. And then it's going to be Fort Collins with, I don't know, quick math tells me a little less than 30 seconds on the power play opportunity once the 4-on-4 is done. So a good chance for the #1 team in the state to do something, but first they got to make sure they don't give up anything to Chaparral, as you see Landon Boyd dump it in for Chaparral. 1 minute to play in the 4-on-4 opportunity. And we've got a delayed penalty coming against Fort Collins. That shot deflected out in front by Corser James. Puck rolls to the near side, now sent across the ice. That shot from the slot will be deflected, and we'll get the whistle here with 3:20 and a stoppage in play, as we're going to get another penalty on Fort Collins. They may run out of room in the penalty box there for the Lambkins. Corser James making his way over there. It is a crowded penalty box. 3 guys in there. You already got 1 guy, Nolan Devine, in the dressing room for the rest of this one.
Lambkins penalty number 18, Jesse Corser James, 2 minutes for hooking. At 3:20.
So Corser James gets 2 minutes for hooking. So we're going to have 40 seconds of a 4-on-3 opportunity for Chaparral. As the Wolverines try to add on to their lead and ice this one away. What a win this would be for Chaparral here on senior night. Shot from the slot, deflected, saved, and a nice job by Simon to bat it away with his stick. Chaparral able to keep it in the zone though. Shot out in front, deflected off his skate, and then a shot goes high and wide. Now we go to 4-on-4 hockey as Fort Collins gets an extra skater back on the ice. Denny White coming in for the Lambkins, and that shot out by the blue line off the stick of Leonard is deflected away. .20 seconds remaining in the 4-on-4 play as the puck just able to be kept inside by Blake Johnson as it was eyeing the neutral zone, and Johnson had other ideas. Puck now does come out of the neutral zone. Chaparral will send it in as the penalty on the Wolverines expires, and they'll be up on the power play opportunity for 35 seconds of 5-on-4 hockey as that puck goes into the Fort Collins bench, and we'll get a stoppage in play here with 1:51 remaining. I want to give a shout out to our sponsors for today's game, Pedersen Toyota, First Bank, and Jim's Wings, bringing you a hotly contested match here at Family Sports Arena on Stream It Sports. Our thanks to those sponsors for helping us bring you this fantastic game. Shot deflected out in front, $1:40 to play. Fort Collins trying to kill off the remaining 15 seconds in this penalty, and then you would think that they would try and pull Sam Simon out of goal. He made his way over to the bench momentarily and then was told, hold up, wait until the penalty kill is over. Here comes Chaparral. Good thing they kept Simon in the net. He deflects that one away. We're back to even strength. $1:15 to play. Chaparral up 3-2. Here comes Fort Collins. They will pull Simon. White with it on the far side. Centering pass deflected aside. Less than a minute to play. Fort Collins trying to get the equalizer. Chaparral trying to keep it in the zone. Puck goes high on the far side and it'll come out of the zone. And Fort Collins will have to tag up. White sends it into the zone. Williamson has it. Williamson will fire a shot. That's deflected, and Blake Johnson will take over control. 30 seconds to play. Here comes Johnson, hitting the neutral zone, loses his stick. Chaparral able to recover, and a shot goes just wide right. That would have iced it. 20 seconds to play. Fort Collins with one final opportunity. Can they get something brewing? Puck into the neutral zone, and now it'll be sent back into the Fort Collins zone, and we'll get a whistle. Boy, that thing was inches away from putting this one on ice and giving Chaparral a 4-2 lead, and now the Lambkins going to take a timeout to try and set something up here with 10 seconds to go. We'll keep it right here on Stream It Sports and give you a reminder, the next two broadcasts coming up on Valentine's Day. What better than cuddling up with your sweetie and turning on Stream It Sports, get a chance to watch Collins and Valor, and then the day after that, Collins and Ralston Valley. That'll be on February 15th. We'll have both of those games for you right here on Stream It Sports. So you would expect that if this score holds, Fort Collins taking a timeout to try and do what they can to make sure that it does not. But if this score holds, can't see how Chaparral doesn't take over the #1 ranking in the state. Wolverines sitting number 2, number 5 in the RPI. The home crowd trying to get pumped up to give their defense some hope here with 10.8 to play. White in there for Fort Collins. He'll face off against Johnson for Chaparral. Good look at what could be the final face-off of this one. Puck pinned up against the near side boards. Now into the slot. Shot will be wide right. And time will expire as Chaparral has knocked off the #1 team in the state. Joseph Holguin celebrating in front of the home crowd here on senior night as the Wolverines knock off Fort Collins by a final score of 3-2. I tell you what, a disappointing loss for Fort Collins. Their first loss of the season. They came into this game unbeaten. But this was going to be a test, and Dylan Strom in his 4th season as the head coach for Fort Collins knew that. He knew his young squad was going to be tested. But I have to think that he likes the way, doesn't like the score, but does like the way his team responded. They were shorthanded toward the end there. And unfortunately, Fort Collins falls 3-2 to Chaparral. So the two teams shaking hands as we recap this one. A scoreless first period. Fort Collins able to get on the board first at the 13:01 mark of the second period. Nolan Williamson would give the Lambkins a 1-0 lead as he was able to find the loose puck and bury it. And then the Lambkins would take a 2-0 lead off a beautiful play. Jesse Corser-James, the recipient there, as he buries that one. That would give Fort Collins a 2-0 lead at the 11:40 mark of the second period, but then it was all Chaparral. You see Noah Yunkin with the goal there. That made it 2-1, cut the lead in half, and then Leonard, his first shot didn't go, able to get his own rebound. He beats Sam Simon. That would tie things at 2, and then Jackson Mundell with the game winner for Chaparral on senior night as he buries that one, and Chaparral comes away with a 3-2 victory. And you saw it all here on Stream It Sports from Family Sports Ice Arena here in Centennial. Again, a big thank you to our sponsors, Pedersen Toyota, First Bank, and Jim's Wings, making this broadcast possible. Glad to have you with us as we saw a dandy today. And if the hockey gods have anything to do with it, I would bet that we will get a chance to see these two teams yet again in the playoffs. There you take a look at our sponsors. Want to give a big shout out to Mike Trujillo working the camera for us today. Executive Director and Mr. Everything, Phil Mildren. He's the one that makes all these broadcasts possible. A big shout out to our entire Stream It Sports crew here from the Family Sports Ice Arena in Centennial. That is going to do it for us, for all of us here at Stream It Sports. I'm Michael Spencer. Our final score, Chaparral, the number 2 team in the state, with a 3-2 victory over number 1 Fort Collins. A reminder, we'll be back with you with more high school hockey coming up Valentine's Day. We'll see you then on Stream It Sports.
Live on Stream It Sports NoCo, it's Northern Colorado High School Hockey. This broadcast has been brought to you by Jim's Wings, Northern Colorado's favorite wings since 1991. By Pedersen Toyota, everything cars made easy. And by First Bank. Visit any of our convenient locations in Northern Colorado. This has been a Stream It Sports NoCo production. You can find all of our broadcasts, past and present, by visiting streamitsports.com/PSD.